Good morning. There we go. Welcome to this Unitarian Universalist Church, which includes our congregations here in Birmingham and in Tuscaloosa, and all of our folks joining us online. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are today, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. To all who are here this morning, welcome home. The prelude prepares us for worship. Please rise and body your spirit for the lighting of the chalice. What if sometimes it's not about a light in the darkness? What if sometimes it's about sparkling potential into possibility and possibility into existence? What if sometimes the flame that burns in the chalice of our faith is nothing less than the ember of hope and nothing more than love set ablaze? What if sometimes all we need to do is follow this flame, one among scores, hundreds, thousands of steadily flickering flames across the land and among so many people, on the way to justice and into the land of peace? What if we dare to kindle that chalice? In the spirit of inclusivity and welcome, please take the next few moments to greet those around you, especially those you may not know.
Please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn in your teal hymnal number 1023, number 1023 in the teal hymnal.
Between our divisions, I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions.
Good morning. Helen Rivas from the Justice Committee here again. Today is the last Sunday for Share the Plate for the Alabama Interfaith Refugee Partnership, which is an organization formed to support refugees and asylum seekers under our Justice Committee in 2014. The organization has grown steadily, and its expanding participation includes a diversity of religious and other organizations and individuals. We have here at UUCB, we have a history of supporting the immigrant community in Alabama, everything from providing space for meetings. We even hosted a Pentecostal Mayan church for 6 months. They did their services downstairs in the Volker room. To also advocacy, which takes us to HB 56 in 2011. If you remember, it was the awful anti-immigrant bill that was passed. And it was, one of the promotions of the bill was to say that non-citizens were voting. And we know that's totally false. There are other efforts now using bogus excuses such as this still to try to undermine what is really a pretty secure electoral situation. And I know you're concerned about the current situation, and many members are already involved in voter registration efforts, education efforts, and we all hope something, well, I hope everyone will be doing something to help people register to vote, write postcards, support candidates whose values you share, or just share accurate information with low information voters. You'll be hearing more from us in the future weeks about how to get involved. And Tuesday, the Side with Love section, UU The Vote, is holding an update, a national call to talk about the work ahead and how you could get involved to support it should you want to join them. The link is in the all-church email at the bottom of the page. You'll scroll all the way down for the Justice Committee section. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Phil Vanderkamp, and I am a member of the board. Our church is supported by those who call our church home and by those who support the efforts of our church to change our world for the better. And it's getting better. If this is your first time with us, please pass the plate. We are just glad that you are here. We share our cash plate every Sunday with organizations, as Helen mentioned, whose work reflects UU values to care for marginalized persons, advocate for real and systemic change, defend our environment, and promote justice and equity for all. We appreciate your donations, either by placing them in the plate or by mailing your donations to the church, or by using PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. More information is found in the order of service in the lower right corner. Thank you for your generous support of our church and our Share the Plate recipients. May we give in love, and may we give in hope.
Maybe someday we'll find that love is enough. Maybe someday we'll find respect. Every day we'll fight for justice with words. Fearlessly say we won't concede. Our actions hold a mirror to convictions we hold dear, and through it all, faith keeps us strong. And until then, stand. And until then, insist. Learn to affirm what is true, what is true. Maybe someday our love will outshine our fear. Maybe someday we'll lead with love. We'll see the day when hearts will open again. Every day we'll listen more. Stand your ground and testify. Give strength to the oppressed and find your voice. Give all you have. And after that, prove. And after that, believe. Let out your light as a sign, as a sign.
Hate coming up here after they sing because I don't feel like I should because they're great. Now is that time in our community when we share what we carry with us on this day, joy or sorrow. For those of you online, please share yours in our online chat, and remember to hold those who are sharing by placing parentheses around their name. For those of you in person today, you are now invited to come forward and drop a stone in honor or memory of what is on your heart today. Please come forward. We continue to lift up the family and friends of Ted Klutz, who passed away in late June. We hope to have more information for you soon. May we keep one another in our hearts and minds in the spirit of community and love. Please join me in a spirit of prayer and meditation, followed by a moment of silence. Our meditation this morning was written by the Reverend Dr. Wayne Arneson. We join together now in a time of meditation or prayer, spoken at first, and then for a time in the peace that silence can bring. As we enter into silence, we remember the many connections.
Also to model best practices in work and advocacy. And I want to quote Dr. Andy Duxbury, our resident expert on aging and the award-winning author of, as you know, 3 volumes of essays that are the story of the pandemic. He advises, 1, that we should be encouraging good hand-washing practices, run the air conditioning starting a half hour before the services to ensure maximum ventilation and air movement. We should have masks available for those who want them, and N95 is the best. I guess we might have to do a fundraiser if we want to do that. And also encourage everyone to get their COVID booster. There should be a new one out in September. And also in one of his blog posts, he talks about getting a booster and having your shots is one way to help mitigate any COVID damage you might have. So he continues to write not only on medical and social issues, but also he pens well-honed commentary on other timely topics, especially music and the theater. And some of you know he was a principal in the company that invested in Stereophonic, the Broadway show that just won a Tony Award. So, and you can find him on Facebook, as well as his blog, Life, the Universe, and Everything. It's good reading. Sorry for the little digression. Anyway, the second action of immediate witness is World on Fire, and humanitarian work and climate change. And this was affirmed by a vote of 95.6%. So it invoked the principles of justice, equity, and compassion, and the interdependent web. And the statement for the action says, systems of power, privilege, and oppression have traditionally created barriers for persons with particular identities, ages, abilities, and histories. Unitarian Universalists pledge to replace such barriers with ever-widening circles of solidarity and compassion. Some of you, if you scroll down to the bottom of the All Church newsletter, will remember that there are often links to UUSC things such as supporting the Pacific Islander groups that are really, being affected by climate change without having had much to do with causing it. Bless you, if that's okay. And also, so the Unitarian Universalist General Assembly calls on the President of the United States to invoke the Stafford Act and the National Emergencies Act to recognize that a public health emergency now exists in the United States caused by climate change. The Stafford Act gives the president to act in cases of disasters and emergencies. And I think all of us are aware that there are other things we can be doing. And September 28th and 29th, there is the UU Climate Justice Revival that will be happening all over the country. We are participating in it. And our Economic Justice Task Force will be sharing more information soon. And contact Philip Vanderkamp if you can't wait and you'd like some more information. Thank you. Third one is solidarity with Palestinians. And this passed on a 73.5% of the vote. And one of the statements is, our faith community has long recognized the horrors of violent anti-Semitism against generations of Jewish people, and we reaffirm our commitment to their safety. Our support for Jewish well-being was never meant to undermine the rights and lands of Palestinian people. And we seek a world where our Palestinian kin and Jewish kin are safe. We believe that until Palestinians are free, none of us are free. And this resolution is actually about the 5th that condemns treatment of Palestinians since the 1948 resolution condemning the Nakba, where over 750,000 Palestinians were uprooted and removed from their homes. And the Unitarians also decry the U.S. funding of the weapons of war that are being used now. And they also talk about, separate Zionism from Judaism. So they call on all UU congregations to be in solidarity with Palestinians and witness, call for the liberation of Palestine, declare our moral outrage, call for a permanent ceasefire, massive humanitarian aid and the release of all captives, and an end to genocide around the world. Also, education, hold teach-ins, organize, advocate, engage with Palestinian-led groups. Some of us have already joined demonstrations that have been held here in Birmingham since last October. Also, another way is to support boycott and divestment and sanctions against Israel and corporate enablers in the U.S., and to end U.S. military aid, and protect the freedom and safety of solidarity activists by supporting protests and opposing legislative policies that go against the First Amendment. So that statement did not make some people happy, and a responsive resolution was passed with 77% of the vote that states, whereas President Sophia Betancourt's beautifully stated report reflected upon the profound horror and loss in the Middle East, which is amplifying growing anti-Semitism and anti-Arabism and Islamophobia in the US and beyond, and that this has caused harm, that at the time this was written, there were considered 150 hostages missing, and they call for recognition of only the harm on one side without regard for the other creates an environment of an existential threat to Jewish Unitarian Universalists. So they call again for the release of Hamas hostages and acknowledge the real suffering of Jews within the association. So those are the three actions of immediate witness, as well as the response. And one other comment is related to land recognition, that to just state we are located on land that used to be Creek, Muskogee, whatever, is not enough. If you are going to do a land recognition, you must also explain what else you are doing in solidarity with the Native American community. Otherwise, as one Native American posted in the discussion group on this, she said, it's like you steal somebody's car and then you drive by and say, thanks for the gift. So, thank you.
And I get to talk about our Article 2 revision. If you look in your lovely little tiny trifold, it's the center 2. And as they mentioned, I did make this, and I put a disclaimer on the front that says, any mistakes are those of the creator of this handout, not that of the UUA or UUCB/UUCT. That's me. I just didn't want to put my name on it. So if something's wrong or you need help, let me know. I'm the creator of this little handout, sorry. But Article 2 Revision Committee, they were looking at our principles and our sources. And you know what they said when they started thinking about it? There's not enough verbs. Now, as a teacher, I have never looked at something and said there's not enough verbs, personally. But that's what they decided. That's in their actual statement, is there wasn't enough verbs, but that also it didn't explicitly name the values we share. So the committee that was looking at the revision asked Unitarian Universalists, what are your values? And then they stuck them down into this little picture that we have. The Article 2 revision means that our principles and our sources are no longer in the UUA bylaws. Hold your breath. It's okay. Don't hold your breath. It's okay. We as a church, as a system of churches in our online community, are still able to use our principles and our sources, but the hope of the UUA is that instead we will use this love at the center, hence our Time for All Ages, as the introduction into our principles and our sources. Instead of having to sing the children's song, which is what I do to explain Unitarian Universalism, I can say, hey, we place love at the center of everything we do, and this is what we branch off from that. So we have generosity, justice, interdependence, equity, transformation, and pluralism. The Article 2 committee that proposed this revision said we need these actionable items that then become very personal. What does generosity look like to the Unitarian Universalist churches of Birmingham and Tuscaloosa versus what does it look like in another part of the country? We as a community choose to do our share the plate for very specific organizations that meet our values. These are our values. This is what we're showing. It also lets people know that if you didn't feel seen by the previous sources, which a lot of individuals in the discussion groups did not feel seen by our sources, now you can relate where your faith, where your conscience, where your attributes that define how you live your life come from, whether they come from a monotheistic religion, whether they come from a polytheistic religion, whether they come from no religion at all, whether you find yourself as a humanist or purely secular, you are now, according to the Article 2 Commission, more covered under these values. They also stated that this language will allow congregations to live out the values and use those while we can still hold on to our principles and our sources. They say, love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. We as a church, as we go throughout this, will decide how we choose to live out these values, how they connect to the principles. Some of you may not know, there was a proposed 8th principle that was adopted by many congregations. We here at UUCB and, in my knowledge, UUCT, decided not to officially adopt the 8th principle because we knew this revision was coming. The 8th principle talks about dismantling systems of oppression and racism. That is here. That is love. That is justice. That is transformation. Dismantling the systems of racism is going to require huge cultural change. We decided not to add that in as an 8th principle because we had the hope that it would be covered under this new revision if it passed, which it did. If you have any further questions on the Article 2 revision, please let me know. I really enjoyed the conversations that were given around it. If you have any questions about GA as a whole, please feel free to ask us delegates, of course, Reverend Julie when she gets back, and Courtney, our lovely Director of Lifespan Faith Development. We're also there. There's a little bit more information on the back of things we did not speak because we didn't want to keep y'all here for the next 8 years or 5 days of GA. So if you have any questions, please let us know. I think Helen has one more thing to say. Thank you.
I would like to add, Milton and Sheena are here from Virginia. UU's from Virginia, and Milton was a delegate also. You want to raise your hand? So if you are willing to talk to people.
Please rise and body your spirit to join in our closing hymn, number 354 in your hardcover hymnal, number 354.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But most of all, we need close friends we can call our very own. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a need to be together. We have our hearts to give. We have our thoughts to receive. And we believe that sharing is an answer. A child is born among us and we feel a special glow. We see time's endless journey as we watch the baby grow. We thrill to hear imagination freely running wild. We dedicate our minds and hearts to the spirit of this child, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a time to be together. And with the grace of age, we share the wonder of youth, and we believe that growing is an answer. Our lives are full of wonder, and our time is very brief. The death of one among us fills us all with pain and grief. But as we live so well, we die, and when our lives are done, the memories we shared with friends, they will linger on, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a place to be together. We have the right to grow. We have the gift to believe that peace within our living is an answer. We seek elusive answers to the questions of this life. We seek to put an end to all the waste of human strife. We search for truth, equality, and blessed peace of mind. And then we come together here to make sense of what we find, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a joy being together, and in our search for peace, maybe we'll find a
Please be seated for the announcements. Today is your last opportunity to enjoy Dariana Dervis's art exhibit, The Light Within, which features collages of recycled and found objects. Price list and instructions on how to make a purchase are on the table next to the double doors at the rear of the sanctuary. You may take your purchase with you today. Please see your order of service for additional announcements. If you have any questions about the circle mixers, please see me. I also made that. So let me know if you have any questions. And we have a special announcement from Lucifer.
Hi everyone, can everyone hear me? So as you know, International Overdose Awareness Day is coming up on August 31st. If you remember last year, I gave you a little warning about a new adulterant in the drug supply called xylazine, an animal tranquilizer. Well, unfortunately, there are now two more. One of them is called nitazines. Nitazines are opioid analogs from the 1950s. They're 100,000 times more powerful than fentanyl. And the other one is called metadamidine. It is also an animal tranquilizer. It does not cause necrotic wounds, but it is much more powerful than xylazine itself. I'm working with some people at the moment to try to collect samples to see if it is in the drug supply here, but there have been reports that there are. So if you know anybody or have loved ones who are people who use drugs or have substance use disorder, please warn them to be cautious. Nothing has been confirmed outright yet. I don't want to cause hysteria, but I'm working on trying to get everything tested. So I just wanted to let everybody know.
Thank you so much for that important information. Please rise in body or spirit for the extinguishing of the chalice. Oh, did you have an announcement? I'm so sorry. We have one more announcement. My apologies.
Hi, my name's Rochelle, and I've been walking closer. Can you hear me? Okay. My name's Rochelle, and I'm walking from Chicago to Montgomery for racial equity, and I'm performing a one-woman show along the way. The play is a tribute to the Black community, and right now I have one show scheduled at the Baha'i Center on August 10th. I would love to, not August, what month are we in? Yeah, it will be August. It is August 10th. And I would love if you could, I know I'm going to speak to someone to see about hosting me here, but I want you to know that's on the 10th. But I do have requests. I am walking. So if there's anybody, and right now I'm parked out there, you'll see my RV, it says Late Love. And that's because I'm late and because I talk about love. It's a love story that I'm sharing. But what I'd love to have, I've been without a driver for a little over a month now, so people have been shuttling me. So I'm about 50 miles from here. That's where I last stopped, so I still have to walk here. And I'm in Holly Pond, so if anyone has any great desire to shuttle me back to where I am, I will walk 10 miles. You could pick me up and bring me here. Or if somebody would just like to take me there and someone else wants to pick me up 10 miles down the road, but I need 5 days worth of that. And I was in Huntsville, and they sort of adopted me, and they were doing that. So if anybody has any interest, you can meet me. I will give you my phone number. And thank you for just being here. This was lovely. I'm just so glad I'm here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Now you may rise in body or spirit for the extinguishing of the chalice. In honor of the legacy of our ancestors, let us carry the flame forward as we extinguish the chalice with these closing words. We extinguish this flame to remind us love is the center. As we explore and rest, engage and heal, love remains the center. When all we can see is cold ashes, love remains.